Welcome back to Normal Baseball. I'm Alex Normal Dog. That's Lewis. And we had a smaller slate of games on Monday, which was yesterday, but we're still here to talk about it. A lot of fun baseball going on.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm having a great time watching it.
Hard not to.
So during these weekday episodes, we are going to basically just have a few questions, a few storylines about the day before, and kind of talk about them. We're not going to go full in depth because we're still going to have our full episodes on Fridays and Mondays. So for the other days, we're just going to, talk about a couple things. So I'm excited to get started.
Of course.
Shall we get started?
Yeah, where do you want to start?
I want to start with Luis Arraez. So Luis Arraez right now is batting .399 on the season. .399. I want to ask the question, can he possibly hit 400 this season? Do we think it's possible? Because Luis Arraez, he's a hit machine. It seems like no matter where you pitch it, he is going to hit it in whatever direction he chooses to hit it in. You look at his game logs, and it's just a ton of multi-hit games. Ton.
Oh, yeah.
So
I would expect nothing less, honestly.
That's true. After last year, it kind of felt like, wow, this guy hit, 319, won the batting title. What's up with that? And then now he's just doing the same thing, but he's doing it better.
Which I didn't think would be possible, to be honest, after watching him win a AL batting title, right? He gets traded to the Marlins for, I would say, a very win-win trade between the Twins and the Marlins. And everyone was like, well, the Twins really needed pitching more than the Marlins needed another bat. The Marlins right now are second place in the NL East. And the Twins seem to be okay and happy with their side of the trade. So I do think that it was a great trade. However, the fact that we're seeing this out of Luis Arraez is something that should not be taken for granted, that should not be overlooked, because statistically, he might be the first person to hit 400 in a season since Ted Williams did back in, 1941, I think?
I believe it was 1941. It's kind of crazy because if you look at his game logs, it's just hits, multiple hits. Very rarely does he get no hits in a game, only when Lewis, picks him to get a hit.
Yeah, then he goes 0 for 5, and I feel bad. So he is off my slate.
But yeah, no, it's kind of crazy what he's been able to do. It's bizarre at the same time as well. I would love to see him hit 400. I think he can. I don't see why not. Especially with how he gets on base. He's not looking for the home run. He's simply looking to put the ball in play. And when he does, it gets down most of the time.
Which is crazy because it's been, I think, a thing for a long time to just say, hit it where they ain't.
And that's what he's doing.
That's what he's been doing, and it's just like, it's such a simple strategy. Gotta hand it to him. And it doesn't feel like that's what can be employed so well and that can really lead to success, but he is showing that it does.
Yeah, it's impressive. I'm trying to find... And by the way, I'm looking at his Baseball Savant right now, and it just makes absolutely no sense. 100th percentile in K percentage. 7th percentile in max exit velocity. 33 percentile in average exit velocity. 2nd percentile in hard hit percentage. 3rd percent in barrel percentage. He does not make hard contact with the ball. And he hits it everywhere around the field. His spray chart is incredible.
Yeah,
it's insane. It is gorgeous. It's like a butterfly with how many colors and it's just so symmetrical. I don't even know if he has... I think he has 1 home run on the season. He has 1 home run on the season so far. Yeah. So again, he's not looking for the long ball, and I think he definitely can. He hits every pitch you throw at him. Mm-hmm. Literally every pitch you throw at him. Which is crazy because when was the last time we saw a hitter do it at this efficiency? Again, Ted Williams in 1941. Yeah. That's the last time we saw it for a full season.
Right. Which, with the way that Luis Arraez has been playing and the way that he approaches at-bats, it would not surprise me if we see him replicate such a successful season as Ted Williams had. which I cannot believe I am saying that there's someone who can even contend with that. But I think Luis Arraez has an opportunity to bat. I think Ted Williams finished at, 401? Well, I think it was.
No, I think it was like 4. Yeah. Maybe 401. I don't know, but...
Well, the power of the internet. I can go check. But if it was in that low 400s...
He's got a chance.
Yeah, could we see him break it as compared to just tying it?
I think it's possible. We've seen players, have a 400 or close to 400 batting average this late in the season in previous years, recent kind of, like Joe Mauer, and I know a couple other guys did it, but no one obviously ever hit over 400. For me, it just feels like, if Luis Arraez just continues to not worry about home runs and just putting the ball in play, it's definitely a possibility for him.
Yes, I agree with you. Just to clarify, Ted Williams in 1941 hit 406.
I still think it's possible.
Yes, and then he had 2 other seasons where he batted 407, but only played a few games, and 400 over the course of 6 games. So, for a full season, he batted 406.
I'd still like to say that the Marlins definitely, going back to what you said, the Marlins definitely won this trade, looking back with Pablo Lopez. Lopez started the season really good, but he hasn't been, elite since. He's been a good starter for them, but not comparatively to what Luis Arraez is doing, because, Pablo Lopez isn't going out there every day and having, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits for his team. And, even when he's pitching, that's 1 every 5 days. I'd argue the Marlins definitely won that trade because they still have good pitching. The Marlins still have good pitching as well. And like we said, they're second in the division right now. They're only 3 games back, and they're 8-2 in their last 10 with the 4-game win streak. They're playing Kansas City tonight, for the week. So I'm interested to see if we could be looking at a 7-game Marlins win streak by the end of this week. So
would not surprise me.
I'm very interested, and Luis Arraez, go for it. I'm gonna say yes, he can.
Yeah, I think he can. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's just a matter of, will pitchers be content with giving him more pitches to hit? Because so far, I think that's been a very big thing with Luis Arraez, is he's getting a lot of pitches in the zone. He's getting a lot of opportunity to put the ball in play, which obviously extremely important. 75% of the pitches that he's seen so far have landed in the zone, which I do think might be something that will change over the course of the rest of the season. But if they keep throwing it in the zone, Luis Arraez can definitely go out there and get at least a couple hits every night.
Fair. I'm excited to see him continue to just do the damn thing.
Yeah, me too.
That's what he's been doing all season. A guy who hasn't really been doing the damn thing all season, Trea Turner. Trea Turner, obviously we know, signed that contract with the Phillies in the offseason. Massive contract. And, he was expected to go in and immediately start raking. And that's just not what he's done this season so far. This season he's hitting .243 with a under 700 OPS. He's got 7 home runs, 19 RBIs. However, yesterday he had 2 home runs in the Phillies win over the Tigers. Obviously him starting the season off as bad as he has, not Trea Turner numbers. A lot of, Phillies fans are kind of upset and already kind of getting mad at Trea for not immediately coming into a new team and adjusting perfectly and being that player that he once was, or rather was just last year. They weren't expecting him to have these early struggles, but yesterday a two home run game. Do we think this is the start of something good for Trea? Do we think this is going to be his turnaround point? He's hitting .241 in his last 7 games, but he's getting on base a lot. It feels like more than he has this season. So what do we think? I think it might be.
I think that this might be a turnaround point. Of course, this is only we're basing this off of one game where they are playing the Detroit Tigers.
He had 4 hits though.
He had 4 hits. If you watched, did you watch the game?
I watched some of it, yeah.
So the 2 homers, absolute nukes. No doubters, crushed. Definitely. Ooh, bad voice crack. Definitely was an amazing display of power out of Trea Turner. The 2 hits are what get me, because they were both, of course, to the left side of the field. Trea Turner, very big on pulling the ball. I think that's more than obvious. You see it in his home runs every season. One was an infield hit that just barely was out of the reach of everybody. Like, that's, I feel like, the type of hit that Trea Turner needs to get the motivation to be like, yeah, I can do the damn thing. I can put the ball in play and then let the other team mess up more than letting me strike out, because that's the biggest mess up. Putting just a runner on is more important in baseball. It's very simple. And when Trea Turner had that 4-hit performance last night of just putting the ball in play and seeing what happened for the other 2 hits that were not the homers, I think is a bigger show of hopefully this is the start of where he turns it around, because Trea Turner, we're only, like you said, 61 games into the season. Trea Turner has an opportunity to turn the whole ship around and hopefully get back to batting in that 290s, 300 area where we know Trea Turner can be.
Yeah, I think this might be the start of it. First 4-hit game, like you said, just put the ball in play. See what happens. Obviously, the 2 home runs, nukes. They weren't staying in that ballpark no matter what happened, no matter how much wind there was. The biggest thing with Trea, though, this season has been his plate discipline. He hasn't really been, taking his walks, not nearly as much as he has in past years. Obviously, so far, played 59 games, so it's about, 100 games left to go. But his on-base percentage is .286, and he's only walked 15 times this season. I don't know. I just feel like his plate discipline isn't really there, because not that to say he was much of a walk guy beforehand, but plate discipline in the sense of you're hitting the pitches that they give you. Like, you're waiting for your pitch to hit, and you know that at some point in the at-bat, they'll probably give you a single pitch that you can hit, and you'll take advantage of it. Yeah. This season, I've seen a lot of bad swings from Trea. There have been a lot of, a couple videos going around, too, of some bad swings, swinging when it's way out in front, when it's way far away. Just things that he wasn't swinging at last season or really at all during his career. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. I think this might be the turn, but I'm also biased because I'm a very big Trea Turner fan. I'm a big Trea Turner guy.
I think everyone is a Trea Turner fan, and everyone wants to see him succeed, especially in such a hard-nosed market like Philadelphia. And we were just there, a couple of weeks ago now. We saw how intense it was. They went down early. Trea Turner homers in the bottom of the 9th to tie the game. Like, it's just something that I think we have to account for, that like you just said, being in a new place, a new situation where you're going from the Dodgers, right, that are this all-around team that even this year, when their goal was not to really go win a World Series, it was more just to stick around and save money, right? They're still contending. That just shows how good the Dodgers were, right? It's not so much a show on how good Trea Turner was for the Dodgers, and it's not so much a show now that he's moved across the country, playing for a completely different team with a different philosophy that just came 2 games away from winning a World Series. Very, very different, and I just want to see what the next 60 games of Trea Turner's first season in Philly will look like, because I think that, like we've both said, this might be the start of a turnaround.
Yeah, big change. Like you said, team 2 games away from a World Series win. So there's a lot of kind of pressure there, but he did want to play there. We knew from the beginning. I think I said it since the start of the offseason. He wanted to go to the East Coast. He wanted to go back to the East Coast.
Yeah, there was only one suitor.
Yeah, one suitor. They needed a shortstop. It kind of just worked out.
That could afford it. There was only one suitor that could afford it.
Yeah. Obviously, also, you can't say it had nothing to do with how pitchers are pitching him either, because he's seeing a ton of balls that are low and away, which, again, I was talking about his chase rate and his plate discipline. He's swinging at him, and he's not making contact with the low and away pitches as much. So they're just continuing to throw low and away pitches to Trea, and I'm hoping that he can adjust and start to, slap the ball the other way. Like you said, he likes hitting it to the pull side. Yeah. Maybe hit some oppo. Go oppo a little more. Obviously, he can hit at Oppo too. Trea Turner, just like Luis Arraez, like we talked about earlier, is definitely one of those guys who can hit the ball the opposite way at any point, anytime. So I don't know. I'm just hoping he can start to get more adjusted to that low and away pitch. Maybe not chase it as much, and we'll see what he can do from there. Fair to say.
Fair to say, more than fair to say. Let's go Trea Turner.
Let's go Trea Turner, and let's go Phillies.
Clap it up. Clap it up for the Phils.
Clap it up. The Phillies have struggled so far this season, but not as much as the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah.
Another good team who was supposed to be a lot better than they're performing right now. The St. Louis Cardinals are 25-36. They were walked off by the Texas Rangers last night. Nathaniel Lowe with a walk-off single. It was a really good game. I watched most of it. I really enjoyed it. But my question is, obviously 25-36. They're now 11 games under 500. They were on a little bit of a tear a couple weeks ago. I thought they were coming back. I thought that they would start to increase, get better from there. But now they're 3-7 in their last 10. They've lost 4 in a row. They're playing the Texas Rangers, who have been incredible all season. Do we think the Cardinals are dead in the water here? Do we think their season might be coming to a close in the sense of we might not be able to come back? We might not be able to catch up. What do we think? I think it's a little too early, but I think it is not too early to be asking that question.
I think, of course, it's too early to give a direct answer. But the one side is, this team last year, they have an MVP. Paul Goldschmidt finally got his MVP award, which was more than well-deserved. I think we can both agree on that.
Oh, yeah.
Paul Goldschmidt gets his MVP. Nolan Arenado is playing like an absolute stud. And sure, the pitching staff might not be amazing, but the offense was really on a tear last year. And that's really what kept them in the race. That's what won them the NL Central. That's what put them into a position to go out and win ball games. And then, basically, from the start of the wild card to now, we have seen that they need pitching. And that's more than anything. That's the bigger problem than anything else. Yes, their offense has not been good. Relying on Jordan Walker, who's not naturally an outfielder, to come up and play outfield, that was just really bad look on their part. I think...
He's back up now.
Yeah, he is back up now, and he's playing fine. I think what we need to see from the Cardinals is one of two things. Either an urgency to go out and get actual good pitchers, whether that be overpaying in a trade market or waiting until the offseason, or trade your guys. Go try to retool. Not rebuild, retool, and see what's going to go on, because Tyler O'Neill has been a name that's been thrown around in trade rumors. There are people who are asking if Ryan Helsley is available.
I doubt
it. Yeah, but if any team can do it, the Cardinals are, I think, the biggest market in either Central Division.
Yeah, but...
So they could definitely afford to retool and try to figure something out next season.
Yeah, my only thing was retool, but how long do they... They still have Ryan Helsley for another 3 years.
Yeah, that's why they're asking if he's available.
But... I don't know, such a dominant reliever. If they want to retool, you would figure that would be part of the you're going to stay. You're going to be our closer for the next 3 years. Hopefully we can retool, take 1 year to, maybe trade some guys, get a better team, and then you're going to be our guy closing out games rather than, Jordan Hicks, who's been on the team for, 5 years now. He's come up to being a free agent.
Yeah.
There's still nothing wrong with their lineup, by the way. I still, obviously, Wilson Contreras is not great, not playing great.
Known corner outfielder, Wilson Contreras.
Known corner outfielder, but the guy, he started to catch more and more. So especially with Jordan Walker,
yeah,
he's starting to catch again. So
that's just because Tyler O'Neill and Lars Nootbaar are also on the IL.
Yeah, I think he'll be their catcher role. Yeah. He's their catcher.
Yeah, what are they gonna do?
But
when those guys come back, they're going to...
probably Yepes, Mercado. Yeah, they have guys on the bench that they'll probably get rid of. But Wilson Contreras' bat has been bad. They do have a couple of weak spots in their lineup, but they also have a couple pluses in their lineup. A lot of pluses, if I do say so myself. Goldschmidt is playing like he did last year, pretty much. He's hitting 292. Nolan Gorman has been on an absolute tear all season, really. He's been one of the best second basemen in baseball. He's got 14 homers. He's batting 274. Nolan Arenado has been playing a lot better as of recent.
Yes.
A lot better. So their lineup really isn't the problem. Like we said, Jordan Walker too. He's back up now. How long he will be staying up, we're not really sure.
I think he should stay up, but it would not surprise me if the Cardinals said, go back to AAA, figure it out a little bit more, and maybe he'll be a September call-up long term. In the long run, I think if he gets sent back down, we won't see him again until September.
It feels like that's what they want. He's got 2 hits since being called up again. 2 hits in how many at-bats? 5, 8, 12. In 14 at-bats, he's got 2 hits since coming up, so not great. Hopefully, he can get back in that groove and convince them to keep him up. So give them no other choice. Hopefully, that's what they could do. I hope that's what he could do. Another guy I want to talk about on the Cardinals, we're talking about pitching and retooling. It's been a little better recently. A little bit better recently. They haven't been giving up as many runs, which is obviously a good thing. I want to talk about Jack Flaherty. Jack Flaherty has been very good recently.
Yeah,
since May 4th was really his last bad start. He gave up 10 earned runs, which, that's going to inflate the ERA quite a bit. Mm-hmm. But since then, 3 earned runs, no earned runs, 3 earned runs, 1 earned run, 1 earned run. And he went pretty much 5 innings or more in every game. He went 7 innings in a couple of those starts. So Jack Flaherty's been very good. And when you look at his season as a whole, really not that bad if you take away that 10 earned run start.
Yeah, and that was, I think, one of his first games back.
May 4th. But if you kind of tally up...
Yeah, but it was also against the Angels, who at the time were being... the early season Angels.
Yeah, I mean...
we're being very good at baseball.
No, regardless of what it accounted for, if you take that start out, I want to say he's got a mid to low 3 ERA, which is good. Is really good.
Yeah.
I'm no math guy. That's just turkey math, but... that was horrible. But yeah, their rotations just...
The rotation needs work.
It's mid, and it needs to be above mid.
Yeah.
So
especially when this team has had, I think for the last 4 seasons, I think we can comfortably say that they have had control over their own destiny playing in the NL Central, and the fact that they're not taking advantage of it, it's been, we can go out and win a World Series with this team is so good, and that has resulted in, I believe, a wild card loss, 2 wild card losses, and 1 divisional loss. I'm 99% sure that's how the last 3 years have gone for the Cardinals.
Yeah, just really, they're kind of just sitting in lukewarm water. It's nothing great, nothing bad, though.
Yeah,
they're just floating. They're floating.
It depends on what a team considers success. Obviously,
success is winning the World Series.
Right, us as fans are going to say that, but maybe for the Cardinals, success is making it to the postseason and seeing what happens.
I don't know. I think they definitely had few years, even last year, where they said, we really do have a shot at winning the World Series.
Yeah, until they ran into the Phillies.
Yeah, until they ran into the Phillies. This year, it's gone down. Their bullpen really isn't that good either. They have Steven Matz at their bullpen. Is there much else I need to tell you? And it's not like they have anyone injured. Their only pitcher injured is Jake Woodford and Packy Naughton. Those are the real 2 big injuries, so it's nothing crazy. The Cardinals, I feel bad for you. I really do.
Oh, yeah.
Another pitcher I feel really bad for is Alek Manoah. But do I really feel bad for him?
No.
No, not really. Alek Manoah, last night, the Astros began a series against the Blue Jays. And we all know Alek Manoah has struggled thus far this season. He went into this game with a 5 ERA, I believe, around there. Well, yesterday against the Astros, he pitched a third of an inning, threw about 40 pitches, and gave up 6 earned runs.
Yeah.
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 Wow. Not a good start at all for Manoah. Manoah's been horrible all season. The Astros obviously won this game 11-4, took the first game of the series against the Blue Jays. Crazy that Alek Manoah went from a third
place Cy Young
to nothing. to nothing. Literally, the Blue Jays should have no one start the game rather than Alek Manoah, and they might actually have a better chance.
Genuinely, I think their best opportunity to win would be to actually let the other team hit off a tee.
Yeah.
Rather than putting out Alek Manoah. It's crazy how bad he is, because I think we are both in the camp of Alek Manoah can be a very good pitcher, and he's shown that time and time again over the last couple of years, where he's been in the 90th percentile or higher in all the important categories for pitching. And this season, let me take a look here at his 2023 rankings on Baseball Savant. He's 26th percentile in hard hit percentage. In his expected batting average, he is in the 10th percentile. In slugging percentage, he's in the 11th percentile. His K percentage, 15th percentile. It's clear that he is missing something, that there's something else going on that obviously we as fans cannot see. And yes, you can point to the obvious of he's leaving more pitches inside the zone. His fastball is a tick off. His slider is not moving as much. His changeup doesn't drop quick enough. Like, there are those things. But I feel like even if they did, anyone who steps into the box is still like, well, it's Alek Manoah. We know that eventually he's just going to lob one essentially over the plate. And it was clear yesterday, at least when I was watching his start, which not hard to go back and watch that one inning of play.
No, not even one inning.
Yeah, not even. When you go back and watch it, you see that his mentality after the first hit was, oh, I don't really care about this game anymore. It's not a perfect game. And he kind of just got stuck throwing pitches over the middle, it looked like. And that's not a success story for any pitcher in baseball, let alone a guy who is supposed to be leading a great team, I almost said a great offense, a great starting rotation, and he's just not doing it.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is he is missing the zone a lot. Yeah. Especially when it comes to his off-speed stuff, his slider, he misses the zone a lot. Not to say that he's aiming for the zone every time he throws a slider, but he is missing pitches, I feel like, just a lot everywhere. And I think he does need to start hitting the zone a little bit more. When he hits the middle of the zone, believe it or not, middle of the zone is where he gets the lowest, batting average against. He's throwing a lot of balls low and high in the zone that are just being smashed.
He's throwing them into batters' swing path.
He's hitting the barrel.
Yeah.
Which is just not what you want to do. And not to say that I'm not trying to say that I am a master at the art of pitching or, anything that involves, I'm not a master, but something tells me when you're throwing it into a barrel, it's not going to be good.
Yeah, and I think if you take another look at Alek Manoah's Baseball Savant page, the heat map that it shows that every pitch that he throws is either thrown essentially right down the middle or too high or too low to really be an effective pitch, which is interesting.
Yeah, it's not an effective pitch at all.
Yeah, which completely renders the pitch useless, and it's just not a good look. It's there's no other way to say it, especially after all the comments that have come out with the Blue Jays over the past couple of years, them, kind of gloating the fact that they're supposed to be good.
Yeah, especially Manoah's comments this offseason.
Yeah,
about Garrett
cheaters.
Cole. Yeah, just absolutely crazy. Manoah's still looking to figure all of it out this season.
Do you think that the Blue Jays consider giving him a Phantom IL stint, go figure it out, skip 2-3 starts?
Nah.
You don't think that would happen?
He was second or third in Cy Young voting last season. They're not just going to say,
He was third.
Get out, go figure it out.
I don't know.
I don't think that's going to happen.
But would they rather have this continue to happen?
Probably, yeah. I think with Alek Manoah...
The Blue Jays are stubborn.
I think an issue with Alek Manoah, too, is I think he's got to get in shape more. He is just gassed after an inning. He seems gassed. I think this is the second time this season that I've watched him throw a 40-pitch inning, and he's just gassed. His stamina is so low. Maybe, make him a closer. Don't do that. And I'm joking. But I think his stamina's not there. I think he did get into worse shape in the offseason, and I don't think that's done him any well. So I'd like to see Alek Manoah get in better shape as well.
Fair enough. Just to put into perspective how much more difficult Alek Manoah has had a time on the mound. Last season in 2022, his fastball, right, his four-seam fastball, obviously the staple pitch, I think, of any pitcher in Major League Baseball.
Most.
Okay, 95%.
Most.
Yeah, most. Added negative 18 runs of value over the course of a 162-game season, which is really, really good. You know, preventing 18 runs essentially is what the math adds up to here from just one pitch is really valuable. This season, his four-seam fastball has added 7 runs of value to his opponents, which very bad look. Very, very bad look, and he's throwing it just as often, if not even a little bit more.
He's also lost velocity on the fastball since last year.
And spin rate, but we won't talk about that.
Yeah, we won't talk about the spin rate. That could also attribute big to it, but he's lost velocity on the four-seamer and the sinker, which are obviously two of the faster pitches that he throws. He's lost almost a mile an hour on each of those. So I don't know really what's going on with him. But either way, Blue Jays got to figure it out because he is a liability when he gets on the mound for every single start. He's had one good start. I believe it was against the Yankees,
Typical.
which, that's how it goes. But yeah, I'd certainly like to see Alek Manoah kind of figure it out, especially after everything he said and how his season's been going. But the Blue Jays are in a bit of a tough spot, especially with how they've played this season. They're in the toughest division in baseball. It's kind of hard to say, one every 5 days we're throwing this guy out, and it's probably going to be a loss. So not a great place to be in.
Not a good look. The Blue Jays need to figure it out because, like you said, toughest division in baseball. And they genuinely, with how the Red Sox have been playing, which the Red Sox are in 5th place, Blue Jays are in 4th, with how the Red Sox have been playing, it would not surprise me if at some point we saw Toronto hit the bottom of the barrel. The Red Sox have been surprising everyone. They're sitting at 500 right now, and the Blue Jays are sitting just above 500. And sure, there's a little bit of disparity there, but it would not surprise me if at some point we said, hey, look at that. Toronto is sitting in last place. And I think that will be the last straw. That will be the wake-up call. That'll be the time that Toronto finally says, okay, we don't give a shit. We need to do everything in our power to ensure that we're not back here again and we're up there with the big guys.
Fair. All right, well, you got anything else?
Baseball.
Looking ahead to today, we got a couple fun series starting. We have White Sox, Yankees. That's always a fun series. Obviously, Houston and Toronto are continuing. Mets, Braves starts tonight, which is going to be a fun one.
Yeah, good luck.
And Seattle, San Diego, a couple teams who have started off not as they expected. Disappointing teams to start the season. So, with that being said, we thank you guys for watching, listening, viewing. If you liked it, make sure to like the video, subscribe, share with your friends. Put in the comments what you want us to talk about tomorrow. What storylines you want to hear us talk about tomorrow. If you enjoyed, let us know again. And we will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and peace out.